Yes, hello and welcome to the first ever episode of A Game of Two Halves, the show that is the vaccine to the pandemic of doom around Australian football. Australia's very own sliding tackle, if you like, of a football news quiz show where nothing is offside, VAR or no VAR. I'm Simon Hill and we're here to put the fun back into football with a star-studded but COVID-friendly half hour of changing room banter and Twitter wit that will hopefully test your brain as well. So fire up for the weekend with us here at Ultra Football in Sydney, and if you enjoy it and want to see more, then please feel free to buy us a coffee by pressing the button below. Thank you. First then, let's kick off with a look at what's been in the news around the world this week. Liverpool boss Jurgen Klopp's touchline hugs have been added to the new FIFA 21. After 14 years though, we are still waiting for EA Sports to include John Kosmina's touchline hug.
And John Kosmina having a real set-to on the sideline.
In form Matilda, Sam Kerr smashed home a hat-trick for Chelsea at the weekend and then promptly smashed her hip after ignoring the UK's strict social distancing rules while celebrating. And Aussie political influence is having an effect on Wellington Phoenix as they settle into their new home in Wollongong. They've lost controversial Chinese tech biz Huawei as their shirt sponsor after 7 years, but gained the approval of two new marquee signings instead. Well, that will at least guarantee them good coverage in the Daily Telegraph in Sydney. Meanwhile, more Australians are left stranded overseas. Tonight, we welcome the man who was so desperate to maintain his record of never having won a grand final. He pulled out of Melbourne City squad altogether ahead of the playoffs. Skipper of the Jamo Tarts, please welcome Scott Jamieson. And joining him is a player who, after 9 years in green, swapped the pressure cooker of the Canberra bubble for the quiet life of playing for both sides of the Sydney derby, painting broad brush strokes across our show tonight. It's a big welcome to Ellie Brush. And in red, it's Matilda's veteran and all-round legend Melissa Bobs Barbieri, skipper of the Bobsy Babes, and the only person on the show to turn down the offer of a special lighting rig because she already had one. She's also the only Australian footballer with more tattoos than Karen Bullitt. Joining her is a player well used to playing in reds. He's finished playing now for Adelaide United, but he's not doddery. It's Travis Dodd. We kept Travis a secret from you, Jamo. Pleased to see your number one asthmatic fan.
No, not particularly, Simon. Obviously, the 400 people that we tried to get for this extras role pulled out. So obviously, you've found the bottom of the bottom barrel and you've called on Trav. So hopefully, someone can pull up next week when we can get someone better and more humour.
Wow, that's a ringing endorsement. Travis, apart from what he's just said, what's your favourite memory of Scott?
It's actually your introduction to this show for him having not won a grand final. So I'll take that every day of the week.
Did you win one, Travis?
Good question, Simon.
I won a cup with Metro Stars.
That makes all the difference. Ellie, you joined Canberra United straight from the AIS at the age of 20, all the way back in 2008, and immediately became captain. Should Bobs be concerned here that you're going to steal her role?
Oh, I think so, but I don't like my chances. Haven't done too much study, so might not want to talk myself up too much here.
Well, more importantly, Bobs, did she ever score against you, Ellie?
Oh, of course she has. This Ellie's got many talents, and you can't stop an Ellie Brush bullet header.
Very impressed that you got another Karen Bullitt reference into the show this early on. Good stuff. Handshake's over. Let's get straight into the action then. Now, like Mike Bassett said, we'll be playing 4-4 Farkin 2. We show you four things with something in common, but there is an odd one out, and we do it twice, with 2 points up for grabs if you can spot the foul play. Travis, you are notorious for your Twitter commentary, so for our first set this evening, we're going to play Dodd One Out. We'll put up 4 quotes from Twitter and media interviews, and we want our teams to tell us which ones Doddsy did do and which ones Doddsy didn't. Easy for me to say. This could be a very quick round, so shout out, or if you've got buzzers at the ready, as quick as you can, teams. Here we go for the first one. Here we go, our first quote: "How these refs keep getting a game is beyond me. Players better off refing themselves. Get a sub from each team to run the lineup under 10 style." Now the next one is a ringing endorsement of Jamo's Socceroos selection. Here we go. Now, on the other hand, our third quote takes credit for Jamo's positive form. And for our last one, a quote taking a double-barrel shotgun to Brenton Speed. Guys, which one is the odd one out here?
Well, let's just be honest, they're all about Jamo, so probably Travis has done all of them, potentially. So just to go again, we are identifying the one Travis didn't say?
That's correct.
Well, like I said, there's a lot to do with me in there. It's called Fascination 101. And I will say though, I am aware of a tweet in there that I may have wrote, and I'm going to air it out because it's, well, I wrote it. So I'm going to say it's about the Socceroos shirt and not giving them out.
It's about the Socceroos shirt and not giving them out. I'm told that is the correct answer. When Brenton Speed spoke out in favour of giving young guns a run in the senior Socceroos, it was actually Scott Jamieson who didn't hold back on the commentator, meaning it was the one Doddsy didn't do. Which,
interestingly enough there, Simon, sorry, Scott complaining about giving him out. Yeah. When did you get yours?
I had four. Not just yours. I had 4, Trav. I have 3 more than you.
I had 2, so that's 2.
Oh, doesn't count. You came on for 5 minutes. Doesn't count. I have 4. Trav has 1.5, Simon, so we can move on.
There's such a bromance.
I got 86. Like, do you want to math on that one?
Yeah, like, we're peasants compared to you, Bubs. Let's not have a conversation.
Yeah,
even Ellie's got more.
Exactly. Well, you and Ellie, I mean, let's just fight out the.
Oh, you've only got 1, Ellie.
Sorry, 2.
2, thank you.
Well, Ellie,
yes.
you got more than Trav. You got half more than Trav.
Ellie, you don't know how many you got. You had to think about that one and double back on it.
It's too long ago. Sorry about the virtual battles here.
Yeah, you're looking very sky blue at the moment, but it's nice. It's a Manchester City blue. Let's move on from the bromance between Scott and Travis. Which Aussie player in the Ipswich Town under-23s was Speedy referring to in 2018 when he called for the youngsters to get Socceroos caps? That's for the bonus points.
He was talking about Cream Bullet.
There's a clue here, guys. Kerem Bullet is not the answer to everything. Any advances on Kerem Bullet?
Look, Simon, I don't think Honda played for Ipswich under-23s, so I'll rule out Honda, and I'll also rule out Harry Kuehl because he never played for Ipswich under-23s.
I don't think Kerem Bullet did either.
I'm going to go with Benjamin Falami.
Is the right answer. Ben Falami had just scored a beautiful goal, 60 yards out, and it left Speedy rather inspired. Jamo, though, wasn't so impressed at the time, but he'll have a chance to change his mind when he sees him in action in close quarters now that the young striker is going to be lining up for victory.
Actually, sorry, Simon, I actually do feel sorry for Ben Falami because at that time, that was the 100th person that night that Brenton Speed said should play for the Socceroos. So,
Travis, your hand is up.
I have a question. Why is Scott Googling the answers and reading straight from his phone?
I'm smart.
That's cheating, Scotty.
Because he can't look at the screen. He can't look at the screen and talk at the same time because he's trying to read it off his phone.
He's either looking at Google or he's trying to find some shade to block out the searing blue on Ellie Brush's face. Next, can our teams tell us which of the following 4 things stands out from the others here? Now, Sam Kerr couldn't celebrate her hat-trick when she got injured after scoring it this week. Kevin Muscat couldn't finish his season with St Troyden, sacked after just 14 matches. The bullpen, MacArthur's active supporter group, were relegated to the sideline in an email this week, leading to a supporter revolt. And last but not least, Melbourne Victory were the last Aussie standing in the Asian Champions League before bowing out to a 3-0 defeat to Ulsan Hyundai this week. So what is the odd one out, guys?
I'm going to go Sam Kerr. Why? Because everyone else is linked and she's not.
It's a nice theory, but no, not quite. Any advances on that?
No, got me stumped on this one.
No points. 3 of these, Kevin, Sam and the bullpen, all finished earlier than expected. The answer we actually wanted was Melbourne Victory, who of course lasted longer than any of us expected. Now the Belgian Pro League has promotion and relegation, of course, so it's pretty ruthless at the bottom. Which player, though, did Kevin Muscat take over there with him that he now leaves behind?
If it's staff, I'll say Ernie Merrick.
You reckon Ernie Merrick went with him to Belgium, do you? I think they fell out about 5 years ago. Melissa?
I don't know his first name.
Doesn't matter.
Liberato Cacace, I got it.
I think Bob's beat you to it there, Scott, to be fair. The answer is indeed Liberato Cacace. The star followed Muscat to Belgium and found himself getting plenty of minutes on the pitch. Is he, or was he, Scott, was he the best left-back in the A-League last season? Wasn't much competition, really, was there?
Agreed.
All right.
He was
comparing to a false 6.
Yeah. When you roll in and make an extra midfield assignment, you can't really be bombing up and down scoring goals like Liberato, can you?
That's true. Not that he ever did score that many goals, Scotty. Did you enjoy that role, by the way?
I love it.
Looked a bit lost.
I get to express myself in positions I've never expressed myself in.
I don't think there's an answer to that. Right, at the end of that round, resident Reds fan, I should say, Hayley Routley has the scores for us. Hayley, what are the scores on the doors?
Well, Simon, after a cagey start, we've got the Jamo Tarts in the lead, 2-1.
Thank you, Hayley. So the Jamo Tarts are 2-1 in front after round 1. So let's move on to Who Are Ya? Who Are Ya? Where we mash together 2 newsmakers with a link between them, and the teams have to guess who they are and what is the link. Are you ready, teams? Let's go with our first mashup of the day. Who are these 2? Who are those 2, guys? Go on, Bobs.
Fred?
That's right. Who's the other one?
So I'm going to say Fred because Bubs helped us out there, but then I'm going to say the next one is the bargain buy that Arsenal made last year, Nicolas Pepe.
I thought I was going to have to give you a clue there, being cartoon characters, Pepe Le Pew and Fred Flintstone. It is indeed Nicolas Pepe from Arsenal and Fred from Manchester United, who were both involved in off-the-ball headbutts against rivals. But while Pepe got a red, Fred escaped with just a yellow, incensing Gooners worldwide. Does anyone know, though, what happened next to Fred?
He got a second booking and got sent off. Yes, that's a point.
Very good.
Very good. Indeed, Travis gets a point. Fred's babyface boss, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, made the schoolboy error of tempting fate and left Fred on the pitch. And the ref certainly made up for that leniency shortly afterwards, issuing him with a second yellow card. And next on to the second photo. Let's see if you can guess this one.
It's Leo Messi and Cristiano, and the link is they played against each other this morning in the Champions League, and Cristiano scored 2 penalties.
No, that's the wax. That's the wax dummy and the.
That's the link. Yeah,
statue.
Yeah, but then I was throwing to you, Barbs.
Oh,
which I didn't.
okay.
Oh, I got it first.
Because you're on the same team, guys, remember? You're supposed to play as a team, not against each other. Yes, Leo Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, the two players. It is Messi's wax statue and Ronaldo's bronze bust. Messi's likeness recently unveiled at the Barcelona Wax Museum, though it's not quite as bad as Ronaldo's bust. The internet's reaction shows many people didn't quite think it looks like him. To be honest, we actually thought he looks like Andrew Durante, and we didn't even know Dura played for Barca. Never mind a waxwork for his time there. And in terms of their overall records, here's an interesting one. Leo Messi, all-time 459 goals. Andrew Durante, 7. Final one for this round. Let's see if you get this one.
Luis Suarez and Barack Obama.
Yes.
Very, very, very good. Yes, it is Luis Suarez and Barack Obama. The former president was constantly plagued, of course, by conspiracy theories questioning his citizenship. But now Suarez is also at the centre of a citizenship probe. So the 1 point for Ellie for getting the two identities correct. Juventus, of course, are being investigated for allegedly fast-tracking Suarez's Italian citizenship to avoid using up a crucial visa spot. Anyone know how they help pass the citizenship tests?
They pay money.
That is close enough, I think, Travis. There are claims that the club helped him to cheat the tests by feeding him the answers beforehand, which makes a change from his usual diet of feeding on rivals' players' faces. Luis Suarez choosing, who'd have thought it. And at the end of the round, it is time for Hayley to tell us the scores, please. Hayley.
Simon, the Bubsy Babes have pulled it back. They're now leading 5 to Jamo Tarts 4.
5-4 in favour of the Bubsy Babes. Let's see if the Jamo Tarts can turn it around in our next round, which we call Back Paddock Legends, where we recreate an iconic moment from Australian football history with every expense spared. Now this week, can you guess what this is all about?
Martinez to Bullet, and he scored! Kerem Bullet! But hang on a minute, hang on. So was that offside, Bazza? He goes away to celebrate, but the flag is up. He's still going. He's still going. And still going. And finally, he's realised that this is not going to count.
Yeah, it is the unforgettable moment where Kerem Bullet was inspired by Mark Twain. Dance like nobody's watching, love like you've never been hurt, celebrate like you actually scored, even though it's offside. So for 1 point, quickest on the buzzers or the horns, who was he playing against?
Just for the record, I will not be answering any questions about Kerem Bullet because I want my family and my friends to be safe. So I will not be participating in anything about Kerem Bullet. So Ellie, if you want to take over, be my guest.
Oh, he's probably somewhere here in Sydney with me, so he's a bit closer to home.
Yeah.
But I'm going to guess.
Hey, actually, give it to Trav. Give it. I wouldn't mind if Trav went missing. So give it to Trav.
Well, Travis is probably safe in Adelaide.
I'm going to go, that sort of a celebration should be saved for a derby. Was it Sydney FC?
No, unfortunately, you are all wrong. Scott, do you actually know the answer to this one?
But I don't want to be in trouble with him.
He doesn't. Oh, yeah.
Look, I will get the right protection around me, and I'm going to say it was the best club in the A-League, Melbourne City.
It was indeed. I'm not sure. Do we give Scott a point for that, given that he prevaricated so much?
I risked my life for that point, Simon. I risked my life for that point.
He's got half a point.
What do you mean half a point?
Hayley.
Half a point. Because he's only going to have half a kneecap left. That's why. He is Karen Bullitt, the legendary enfant terrible, whose skill has been squandered by fallouts with authorities and the police. But once upon a time, he looked like being the next great Aussie striker when he won what?
Asian Footballer of the Year.
You're in the right sort of ballpark. Ellie and Scott.
I'm going to say Clubman of the Year at Western Sydney Wanderers.
Wasn't Young Footballer of the Year?
No, you're all sort of reaching around, grasping in the dark, and quite frankly, you're nowhere near. He actually won the Golden Boot at the AFC Under-19 Championships in 2010 with 7 goals in 6 matches. Bullitt, of course, left Australia to join Mlada Boleslav in the Czech Republic in 2010. What closed almost immediately after he left the country? And here's a little pic of Kerem that might help jog your memory. I think I'm going to be in trouble after this. And here's a picture of a T-shirt to give you a further clue.
Bondi Inc.
Ed Hardy fashion label.
It's incorrect.
Oh, Travis Dodd. On the money. It was indeed the Ed Hardy stores in Australia, famous for their gangster-style tattoo print T-shirts, who went out of business and shut their doors within weeks of Bullitt's exit. They may be related or maybe not. And if you do want to see Karen Bullitt in action once again, he is due back in court on Monday. Can I say that? And the whistle is blowing for half-time on a game of two halves. Here's Hayley to tell us how they head into the sheds at the break. Hayley.
Well, the Jamo Tarts were caught ball watching in that round, and Bubsy Babes have advanced their lead 6 to 4.5.
6 to 4.5, the Bubsy Babes leads. Join us after a quick half-time orange for more. See you soon. Here's a short commercial break from our partners who help us bring this to you. And if you'd like to help us as well, you could buy us a coffee at www.ag02h.com. Every little bit will help. We plan to bring you this for free every week with as many coffee donations as you can throw at us after round 1 of the new A-League and W-League seasons. This episode is just a warm-up to show you what's coming next year. We want to bring you fresh new content in a way that you want to see it. But we need your support to continue to do it. So please don't be shy. We don't want a lot, just a little, whatever you can afford. If you enjoy the show and want to see it improve, buy us a coffee, please. Or else we'll make sure every corner's a short corner next season. A reminder, you can buy us a coffee at www.ag02h.com. Thanks. And we are back. Now it's time for the faithful Wheel of Misfortune. We spin it, and where it stops, nobody knows. Just like Scott Jamieson's goal celebrations, if he ever scored. And the wheel says... There we go, green and golden oldies. We've taken a virtual time machine to the future to have a look at some of our Socceroos if they'd made a few bad decisions and went all post-retirement razor ruddock on us. So you just have to tell us who is who. Now, first up, the law of the deep-fried Mars bars have clearly taken their toll on this star 30 years from now. Who is he?
Go on.
That's definitely Tommy Rogic.
It is. It's Tommy Rogic, looking like your favourite Scottish uncle with a heart condition. Next, the former jet-setting star's babyface had faded over the years. Who's this?
That's a former teammate of mine, Adam Taggart.
He's spot on again. I absolutely love this round. Yes, Korean hero Adam Taggart, looking more craggy than taggy. Next up, this Socceroos just spotted someone buying the last pie in the shop. Who is this?
Lyndon Dykes.
It is not Lyndon Dykes.
Is it Jacob Burns?
No, Bobs, go on.
Ryan Grant?
No, it's not Ryan Grant. Seriously, I thought this one was the easiest one of the lot. Jamo, go on.
Robbie Cruz.
finally, it is Robbie Cruz getting injured by someone just taking his pick or taking his pie. Next, this veteran has clearly still got it. Who is this?
That was Bruce Gitter, wasn't it?
I'm going to say the greatest Australian footballer of all time, Harry Kewell.
Indeed, you are correct. Still being cool in his 60s. He's got a beard as grey as mine. Next, could there be more than meets the eye to this one?
Aaron Moy.
It is a podgy Aaron Moy there after 1 or 200 Chinese takeaways too many. I love this round. Next, the former Macca's employee who seems to have eaten all the profits. Who's this?
Alex Brosk.
Incorrect. Jamo?
I won't use that other Travis Dodd. I'm going to say Craig Goodwin.
Yes, one-time McDonald's employee Craig Goodwin refusing to retire. Next up, the look that says halal snack pack for dinner. Who's this?
David Boone.
That's Matty Ryan.
Hey, now, Travis, you can't have two cracks at it. If you got one incorrect.
I didn't have a guess. Jamo guessed. Come on, go back to your adjudicator.
Travis
said David Boone.
Said David Boone.
Adjudicator, who said David Boone? Was that Travis or was that Scott Jamieson? Travis. Yeah, I thought it was Travis as well. Careful, Travis, or we will dock you a point. It was Bob's, I think, that said, was it Matty Ryan? That is correct. Eagle-eyed Matty Ryan. I actually think there's a bit of a Phil Moss vibe about that picture as well. Finally, this bloke is still number one for the geriatric golden boot. Who is this?
That is my trusted golf partner and number 9 at Melbourne City, Jamie Fat McLaren.
Jamie McLaren making a tash for the finishing line. He looks like Colonel Sanders. But before we wrap up this round, here's a few more we prepared earlier.
Oh my God!
Oh, that's actually me.
That's good.
Now,
Yes, that was Ellie looking elegant, Jamo looking surprisingly good but hairy, Bob's looking very chic, very Sex and the City, and sorry Travis, I think Jamo might have done that one. You seem to have eaten all the future pies.
That could be an extra for Harold Bishop out of Neighbours, the way that.
Very good, Travis. Here's Hayley with the scores updates. Hayley.
Simon, don't worry. Dotty, I saw what happened and awarded points accordingly. Bubsy Babes still in the lead, 10 to 8.5.
Thank you, Hayley. Bubsy Babes still in the lead, 10 to 8.5. So welcome to the We Don't Know What You're Doing round, the segment where our teams have to watch a short clip and guess what happens next. Teams, are you ready? Let's get straight into it. Here we go.
Put in still Joe Hart to stay forward. Here's Robinho. The goalkeeper not sure what to do. He's out of position now.
Yeah, that's a scene from a Manchester derby. You can see Man City's goalkeeper, Joe Hart, up front there. What happened next?
Doesn't he get back and save it?
He does. It was a classic derby moment. Let's see what happened.
Put in still Joe Hart to stay forward. Here's Robinho. The goalkeeper not sure what to do. He's out of position now. It's a clear run. Giggs has got Rooney up to his left. 2 defenders back. And Hart has got there, but Rooney has gone for it. And oh my goodness, he has got there, but Rooney has gone for it. And oh my goodness, he
Yeah, congratulations to Ellie Brush. She gets the point. I'm not sure Joe Hart has actually played a game since. What's your record like in going up for last-minute corners, Bobs?
Oh, I haven't scored one yet, and I actually haven't had a coach that let me. So
They never allowed you over the halfway line. Travis, you'd have needed your inhaler for that run back to get back to goal.
You can't say that about Trav.
no, I just would have had to have come off. That's where I need interchange.
Okay, well, let's interchange onto our next clip. The next video, can you guess what is happening here?
The dad pushes the goalkeeper to make the save.
Okay, let's have a look and see if you are right. Pretty sure you are. Don't you just love the way the Dad of the Year throws his hands up and walks off in disgust as if his master plan of throwing kids at the ball failed through some fault of the children on the pitch. Absolutely brilliant stuff, Bobs. You get a point for that one. Final one for the night. Can you guess what is happening here?
John Gilchrist to Cook. That's one for Brian Gibbs to chase. There's hardly any chance here.
I'm going to say the little fox terrier steals the ball off that player, dribbles round the goalkeeper, taps it in, and then does a bullet celebration and runs wild.
That's very inventive, but it's not right. Anybody else got any advances on that?
I'm just going to go in and say that the dog does a goal line save and just clears it.
Incorrect. Let's actually have a look what happened, shall we?
John Gilchrist to Cook. That's one for Brian Gibbs to chase. There's hardly any chance here. And still that pooch was in it. What a tackle. What a great tackle.
Yeah, one from the black and white era. That dog's name was Muscat. No, I'm only kidding. Back in the 1960s. All right, let's have a look at the end of that round at the scores. Hayley Routley.
Jamo Tarts with some work to do for the final round. They're still trailing Bubsy Babes 11 to 9.5.
It's close, but Bobsy Babes are in the lead. Well, now for a clinical finish as we head into the final minutes on the headlines. It's currently anyone's game with the scores very close indeed. Parts of these headlines have gone missing quicker than Yoshi. 1 point to the team who can fill in the missing words or phrases. So this is the first one. Why is the fencing at Marine FC's ground marked with numbers?
So match day for social distancing, the fans are allocated a picket and they have to go and stand behind that picket of your fence.
I like that theory. It's very, very good. Unfortunately, it's not correct, but clearly we've been in COVID lockdowns for too long. It's actually so they know which house to knock on if the ball goes over the fence. They're sort of divided into segments according to which back garden the portion of the pitch corresponds to. Brilliant, huh? Now, adding to another glorious chapter of the magic of the Cup, of course, the 8th tier English side Marine has drawn Spurs in the third round of the FA Cup. So those residents of those nearby homes have had to update their property insurance and remove all the bird feeders, statues and gnomes just in case Harry Kane comes to collect a lost ball and backs into one to get a foul. On to the second one. Chinese football clubs have been ordered to do what? Here's your headline.
So angry. Chinese football, I don't know what it says. Chinese clubs ordered to start spending money.
I think they were ordered that about a decade ago. No, that's not correct. Anybody else?
It's to do with changing their names.
There we go. You get the point, Melissa. The Chinese Football Association is following through on orders for clubs to try and remove any references to investors and companies from their names, with most teams, including Aramoy's Shanghai SIPG, set to be affected. Some teams are taking to social media for a fan vote on their new identity. If the results of Forest Green Rovers Stadium name fan poll are anything to go by, then we should have a new team named Kevin by Christmas. Only for the will of the people to be ignored and a generic name of Western United to be installed instead, of course. On to our third picture. Why is Neil Warnock furious and vowing revenge?
I'm going to be very serious here and say he was furious about the standard of toilets and showers after the game.
I think that's close enough. Point to the Jamo Tarts because the Stoke City changing rooms were like pigsties. He berated the temporary COVID player and manager porter cabins provided by the Potters for Borough's recent 1-0 defeat. Warnock branding the facilities a pigsty, claiming the toilets were blocked, water was all over the floor and they were freezing cold. I guess he literally could not do it on a cold, wet night in Stoke. Let's move on to picture 4. Who may bail out a struggling UK side? Have a look.
This is Ryan Reynolds, the actor.
I can see why you were going down that blind alley. Unfortunately, it's not right. Go on, Bobs.
That's the Bitcoin guy.
Another point to Melissa Barbieri and the Bubsy Babes, a Bitcoin entrepreneur. Struggling British side Wigan Athletic are set to name Bitcoin magnate Jonathan Rowland as the club's saving grace following the club going into administration early this year. And of course, after the Perth Glory cryptocurrency debacle, I'm sure this desperate club has done their due diligence surrounding the character and integrity of the man who is also good friends with Prince Andrew. For goodness sake. Let's move on to picture 5. Why does Messi have a what?
His beard's different.
Yes, you're right. It is, why does Messi have a ginger beard? Of all the questions we could ask about this man's insane genetic makeup, and this is what we've picked. Brilliant. The last one, how has a Russian pilot shown his support for Artem Zhuba?
He filmed it.
He filmed it, you're saying?
Yeah, he filmed the intimate moment.
Well, it's actually, the answer is not quite that, but you're sort of on the right lines. Anybody else?
Yes. I'm going to say he live streamed it.
The actual answer is it's not the Spirit in the Sky, but a penis. An Aeroflot pilot is currently being investigated by the Russian Aviation Authority after deviating from his flight plan to instead draw a penis in the skies above Neftekhimsk. However, football fans leapt to the crew's defence, claiming it was all just in support of the Russian national team captain Artem Zhuba, who had just been axed after a video leaked of him allegedly playing with his prop shaft, shall we say. Surprisingly, this is not the first time a national team figure has been on the receiving end of a phallic tribute that didn't exactly have prior approval. Let's have a look. Oh, that moment. So, at the end of all that, Hayley, tell us who's been thrashed and smashed this week.
Well, they ran away with it in the end. The Bubsy Babes take it with 14 points to Jamo Tart's 10.5.
There we go. Congratulations to the Bubsy Babes as the crowd goes wild as Melissa and Travis celebrate their victory. That is the most intimate goal. Intimate? No. Intricate. That is the most intricate goal celebration I think I've ever seen. And finally, A-League bosses hope to lure wonder kid Caoimhin Kelleher down under with a promise to surpass even Premier League professionalism after Liverpool misspelt his surname on his shirt. But anything the Premier League can do, of course, the A-League insists they can do much, much better. That one never gets old, does it? A winner every time. And Jamie Vardy showed the kind of disrespect for corner flags that would break the heart of an Aussie ball boy. Archie Thompson knows how to treat him right. Yes, Jamie Vardy doing to a corner flag what no doubt his wife Rebecca Vardy would like to do to Colleen Rooney. Now, as the coronavirus vaccine starts to roll out around the world, nature is healing, life is returning to normal, and Millwall fans are once again the most racist in the UK.
Shane Ferguson Smith up top. Go through those subs again and they've got Frank Fielding, Sean Williams, Alex Pearce, John Daddy Bavardson.
Aren't they lovely? And finally, the new COVID-safe frisk technique has been warmly welcomed by the RBB. Oh, a man who loves his job. That is us for tonight. Let's say thank you to our panellists, Ellie Brush, Travis Dodd, our two team captains, Scott Jamieson and Melissa Bubs Barbieri, the winners tonight. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to buy us a coffee. Good night.